This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, baby. That's all I've got to say. God, what was I? I was just going to mention something, but I can't remember what the hell it was. Not that important, apparently. So,
okay.
Just never mind. I'll think of it, whatever the hell it is. We were just talking about how when you give other people your credit card, somehow it never seems to end where they said it was going to end. And I don't know. Say, I got Tom, I hate to bother you with this, but I don't have a credit card and I need the money today. It's only like $200. Could I just use your credit card? So you go, yeah, I'll do it and don't worry about it. Next day, I was wrong. It wasn't 200. It was 2,000. It's like, oh, okay.
It's a pretty big gap.
Yeah, it's a pretty big gap, don't you think? 9 times more money than they said it was.
Missed a zero
in there and whatever. One thing I'd like to say to everyone, because there's a big brouhaha now about, Walz did this and J.D. Vance did that and Trump did this and Kamala Harris did that. And oh my God, everybody hates everybody. They're the worst human beings on earth. They're weird. They suck, blah, 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 blah. I got a call from a friend of mine who lives in Toronto. He's Canadian, so he has to stay up there. He can come down here, I think, 5 months of the year. I think that's what it is, something like that. Or almost 6 months of the year. I got a call from him yesterday. I can't wait to get back to America. My God, this place is just a shithole, crazy with the politics. It's all around the world now.
Canada? I thought Canada was like the chill. Everybody likes their free healthcare. Yay for Canada.
No, I've been seeing this too, Tom.
Like, you have too.
Yeah,
it doesn't surprise me.
It's very weird how I have had the same perception, I think, of Canada for a long time. Where it's just like, everybody's buddy and like, we're going to get some maple syrup and, let's watch the Canucks take on the Oilers. And no, it's like Wizard of Oz. I've seen the curtain's been kind of pulled back and it seems like there's two very differing groups of people there for the political stuff. And I know, what's the prime minister? Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
I know he has been somewhat of a controversial person for a little while now with some stuff in his past, but now it seems like they are very much going after him. Like, all right, maybe it's time for somebody new.
And that's the entire world. I mean, England's talking about going to a civil war in England, for Christ's sake. It's just apparently the immigrants have banded together and are just doing all these things. Not me making this up. I got this from the national news. But apparently there may be a civil war in England between the people who were born there and the people who came there, because they have two completely different views. Now, if you were invited into another country, wouldn't you kind of follow their lead? Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, I would assume so. Like if I went somewhere where they didn't speak their native language or wasn't familiar with, I'd probably rely on somebody to tell me, hey, don't go over there because that's not a savory part of town, or don't do X, Y, Z because that's not how we do it here.
And then on the other side of that issue, and I'm not pointing any direct fingers, but it is true. If you come and live here, you can't beat the shit out of your wife. You can't do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because some religions allow that to happen. I don't want to talk about which ones they are, but they beat the piss out of their wives constantly.
I didn't know that was in any religion.
I don't know if it's a religious thing, but there are definitely countries where, women's rights are definitely not promoted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there's one country, and I don't want to get involved with argue with anybody about this, but it is true. There's one country where dogs are more important than the women are. Because the dogs actually do some work by, pulling sleds or something. I don't know what the hell. It's just, I just don't think Catherine would fit in over there. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. God, I would love to see the look on her face if I ever threatened her to be, oh, really? You know where the butcher knives are?
She would probably give you a little chuckle and then go find whatever weapon she was going to attack you with.
Strike one.
Yes.
It was strike one. So, all in all, I'm looking at the 2 people or the 4 people now it is, I guess, that we have running for the presidency and the vice presidency. I'm not wild about any of them, but I guess they're at least not beating the piss out of their spouses. So that's good.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I feel like that's a good benchmark to set. Like, Are you a good spouse? Okay, now we can consider you to run for the presidency.
The bar is incredibly low.
Yeah, exactly right.
Incredibly low.
What the hell are you going to do? But yeah, my friend, he said, I just can't stand living in Canada anymore. These people are nuts. And he's Canadian. He was born in Canada. He just said that they've gone politically crazy, but the whole world is politically crazy because everybody's shoving everybody else's culture on one another. We can't just, meet in the middle. Can't be doing that, of course.
Nope.
But I just, and I still don't know who the hell I'm going to vote for president. Is there any third candidate other than RFK Jr. who, and he's another one. Didn't he like murder a bear or something? Or what the hell did he do?
Or no, he didn't murder the bear, but I think the bear got hit by a car. He found it, was going to skin it, didn't skin it, and then left it in Central Park.
And covered it up with a bicycle.
Yeah.
I think he might have been suppressing how somebody dug up the initial tweet from this Central Park police, and the bear was found apparently with stab wounds.
Yes.
So maybe he withheld a little bit more too, but it seems like every day goes by, it's you learn something new about him, and it's never charity driven. It's never work in the community.
No,
it's
no.
I unscrewed a couple bolts on this Ferris wheel, and all of a sudden they had to shut down the carnival or something like that. It's stuff like that.
One of my favorite things is they asked other members of the Kennedy family what they thought, and they said, "Oh, we actually don't promote or deride one another. We just don't get involved with one another, and that's just how that is." And I mean, honest to God, is there a candidate out there that you would go, "Hey, this is the way we got to go"? And I assume even if it's the way we got to go, they have no chance of winning. But if either one of these two people wins, either Trump or Kamala Harris, is there an upside to any of that?
I think Harris, just because it's something new and fresh. But I think either way, there's just going to be people that are extremely upset, and it's the end of the world, and America's doomed forever.
Well, it is doomed forever anyway. It doesn't matter who wins. It doesn't really matter. But I was going to talk to you about that, and I know we got to get to Judd here in a second, but I want to talk to you. What I would like you to do if Kamala Harris does get elected, and you notice I'm saying her name properly, not Kamala, it's Kamala, not Kamala. Be a little more polite, please. But if she does get elected president, on every show, every time you talk, I need you to end talking by laughing.
Okay, I think I can do that.
Yeah, you have to do that. There it is, right? And we got you locked in, man. You're the Kamala Harris of the Tom Barnard Show. That's the deal now.
I'll take that.
I'll take that. Listen to you. In any case, the world is, hey, look, I'm a very happy man. I love my wife, our children, our grandchildren, my friends, the job's working well. But just standing on the outside looking in, it's like, holy God, are you people nuts? Why are people so nuts? You get it?
I don't know, but I look at the past 4 years with Biden as the president, and I go, on what day did I wake up and my life was greatly better because Biden was president? The presidency, yes, they affect your day-to-day life on some level, but for the most part, it doesn't matter who's president. You're still getting up, going to work, trying to make money, feed your family, all that.
It's and I don't know how much either of you two watch South Park, but they back when it was McCain versus Obama. It was the same thing where it's they portrayed it as people prepping for doomsday, and then they're like, "Oh, the world's gonna end," and then they open it up and it's like, "What the heck, Obama? I still got to go to work today."
There you go. I need your help with this though, because you didn't pause long enough for him to laugh at the end of his statement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to give me time to really get the laugh out.
Yeah, okay, well, we'll iron it out here. We still got 3 months until the election. So,
Kamala Pittman, ladies and gentlemen, there it is right there. It's Tom Barnard for Livia Weight Control Centers. Your success story starts today. Join Livia's doctor-recommended and award-winning nutrition program. Get your first 8 weeks free. I need to say that again. You could lose up to 20 pounds or more in your first 8 weeks. You get your first 8 weeks free. Plus, Livia offers weight loss medications to accelerate results. Receive personalized one-on-one guidance, plus expert nutrition and medical support. And I'm not just making that up. That is, nutrition information is really, really good. Because people on diets, let me put it this way, and I've done it. I finally, realized it was complete BS. But the nutrition part of it is very, very important, because your brain needs to think hey, that was good. I'm full. I don't need to eat anymore. That's the nutrition part, the medical support we're talking about here. Livia is the destination for all weight loss solutions. Trust me when I say this, Livia works. I know, there's no question about it. Visit livia.com. That's LIVEA.com, or call 855-GO-LIVIA. Join Livia's nutrition plan today and get your first 8 weeks free. Plus, Livia Medical offers GLP-1 medications for accelerated results. Visit livia.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA. Choose the trusted leader serving our communities for 15 years. Livia works.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you talk to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support, and I thank you for that too. Thank you. They're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets, only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses, mattress toppers, 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale, as a matter of fact. From the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually do absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and a lot more, so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You horn. Oh, I didn't know it was St. Patty's Day.
You didn't?
Well, the green alligators and long necks.
Yeah, heck yeah. It's always St. Patty's Day. It's always a good day for a good green beer. I'm just kidding about the green beer, by the way.
You don't like the green beer?
I haven't really delved into green beer too much. I'm perfectly happy with my normally covered beer.
I can find, yeah, I understand that, no question. So are you Irish at all?
No, of course not. No.
Not. What do you mean, of course not? How would I know, of course not?
Oh, you wouldn't, but no, I'm not. Zulgad, I got some German, got Russian, lots of stuff, but yeah, no Irish.
So you're partly Russian?
Yeah.
You must be really comfortable the way the United States is headed then.
Are you kidding? I'm incredibly comfortable. Actually, you know what? My dad's mom's family came from Russia pre-revolution.
Did you study this? Did you look for all this information yourself?
Hell no. My mom told me. I'm not big into I guess I'm getting more into it now that I'm old, but when my mom was alive, I did not really care about the family tree.
This is going to surprise the three of you when I tell you this. One of my sisters dug back into our past and found out how our family came from Western Europe to the United States of America. And I'm happy to tell you, we got here because one of my relatives was deported. What a shock, huh?
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. That's interesting. You're out of here.
You're gone. Go to America. Go hang out over there. That's all we need to hear from you. One quick thing I wanted to mention. Jonah Rosenblatt is the guy's name. Giovanni Ribisi wants to come on the show. We should see if we can get him on during your report. You know Giovanni Ribisi, don't you? I don't think a lot of people know who he is, but you'd know him if you saw him.
Actor, right?
Yeah, he's an actor, yes.
Yeah, didn't he do the, I think he narrated the Virgin Suicides back in the day.
I think you might be right about that.
which was a great Kirsten Dunst film.
Oh, he's a damn good actor too. I tell you.
And he was in was it The Cooler? No. It was Wall Street type of film. Ben Affleck. You remember that? I'm really bad with names of films.
Yeah,
yes.
He was in The Boiler Room, Lost in Translation, Gone in 60 Seconds. He's been in a couple movies.
What's the name of the one that's really good that nobody knows about? It's I think it takes place in Philadelphia. He's in some street gang or whatever.
Contraband? Is it a Mark Wahlberg related film?
No, but he works with Wahlberg a lot, I think.
Yeah.
I think he does. I can't remember the name. It's a real 10th and Wolf. It's called 10th and Wolf. You guys ever seen that movie?
Nope.
No.
Oh, it's phenomenal. You ever catch that one, Judd?
Mm-mm.
Watch it. I think it made like $85,000. Never made any money.
Wow.
But it's a phenomenal movie. Really good.
Okay, for sure.
And he is one of the reasons it's so good. There's no question about that. It's but yeah, it's going to be kind of fun. He's coming on. Let me see if I can find the date he wants to come on. So we got to find it. I was talking to the guys, by the way. You heard that saw buzzing in the background. I was talking about. I said, "Man, you guys got this thing. You guys got this thing locked in because I can tell when you show up for work and I can tell when you go to lunch. It all works out in the end." Let me see. They're talking about the 14th, so next Thursday.
Wednesday, right?
Wednesday, excuse me. Yeah, it's the 8th.
Yeah, that's Wednesday.
Yeah, so he wants to come on next Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah.
He said he'll do 10 to 12 minutes. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to do it Zoom too, so we can get his picture up, can't we?
Okay. Perfect. Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. Zoom. Yeah, I think between now and then, if you guys get a chance, watch the movie 10th and Wolf, because I think you'll be very, very, a lot of really good people in it too. A lot of good people.
Excellent.
So the Twins got their ass handed to them yet again by the Cubs.
Well, and they did, and Joe Ryan left early in the game.
Oh, God.
And I would not be surprised if he's now going to go on the injured list. And this is another reason why their inability or their unwillingness is the better word to add starting pitching depth was just ridiculous. Like they were taking a chance doing that if everybody stayed healthy. And now if Joe Ryan's out for I don't know how long, I'm not saying they can't make the playoffs, but how do you not add depth? And I'm not talking about like a great pitcher. I'm talking there were starting pitchers out there that could be had for next to nothing, and on 1-year contracts. So it's just a small prorated portion, and you didn't add any of them because you didn't like them or you were too cheap. But then you got this Richards character, the reliever from the Blue Jays, right, who came in yesterday and walked the yard. He walked 5 guys.
Yep, absolutely.
Ugh.
Well, I like it. Walk the yard. I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, he walked the yard. He did. Just incredible.
Well, the thing about him too is like he's a 2-pitch guy. He's got a fastball and a changeup, and his changeup wasn't working. So I think he had 2 wild pitches. That makes it a little tough to get anybody out when they know the fastball's coming.
But look, let's be honest. I'm talking to all three of you. If you bought a team for $35 million, now it's only worth $2 billion. Would you want to spend anybody?
Yeah, and I mean that Bally's TV money dried up, so yeah, it's tough over there. It's probably can even keep the lights on at Target Field.
35.
It wouldn't have cost that much. That's incredible.
No. It's that to me, and I'm very serious. You guys ever lived in other cities?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in college.
In college, yeah. Okay. How about you?
Not really.
No, ever. Minnesota has a very specific way of handling things that's unlike any of the other 49 states. And that's one of the things. Minnesotans tend to be very cheap. Have you ever noticed that? The very wealthy Minnesotans are very tight with the dough.
Mm-hmm.
They are. And it's always been that way. Once you get out there and get in other areas, I mean, a lot of people are tight with their dough. There's no question about that. But when you were given a team that your grandfather bought for $35 million, and now it's worth, let's say, $1.50, $2 billion, whatever it's worth. You paid $35 million for the team. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, and are the poll ads very like analytical, where they look at it as a numbers thing, where we can't spend this percentage? Judd, do you know, in your time being there, where it's like they don't just go, you know what, screw it. We know that maybe this doesn't make the most fiscal sense, but we're going to spend the money anyway? Or are they more of like, we got to do everything by the formula that we have established?
No, they've sent guys before where they definitely have taken on more. They said flat out they were going to cut the payroll because the TV revenue was going to be down. But the thing is, I'm not saying they should have gone out and got an expensive pitcher. I'm saying they went out and got this guy for the bullpen, who is, I think they're going to owe him something like $750,000. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do that, you actually should have invested that. So like that money clearly existed to add in a starting pitcher. There was a guy that the Royals, who of course are a good team in the Central Division, got from the Texas Rangers. His name is Michael Lorenzen. 1-year contract, $1 million something. I don't know how much. But anyway, they should have gone and gotten a guy like that instead of Richards from the Blue Jays. I would rather had starting pitching depth. So this isn't, I don't think that this is a money problem. Well, it's partially that. It's more of a miscalculation problem, though.
Yeah.
It's prioritizing wrong. It's being cocky, which they do. It drives me crazy. The hubris of we've got this, and then the car goes off the cliff is just, it drives me nuts.
I understand, no question about it. I got to bring something up to you guys because I want your advice on this one. Okay, this is many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the KQ morning show, having a good time, all the rest of it, and we had a street guy, and he just died about a month ago. A guy named Crazy Cabby. Cabby died about a month ago, something like that. But I got along with Bob Polad really well. Sat in, matter of fact, right field with him one time with his son and watched the Twins and all the rest of it. Things were going along just fine. And then without telling me he was going to do it, Crazy Cabby knocked on Carl Polad's door. His wife opened the door, and Crazy Cabby said, "Yeah, I'm from the KQ morning show, and I came by because I saw your husband on TV. Looks like he's going to die really soon, so I'd like to measure him for his coffin." They blamed it on me, and they haven't spoken a word to me since. See, that's what I love about this business. Nobody ever asked me, should you do that? Because I would have said, hell no, you don't want to do that. Right. What are you doing?
Right.
But the Polads to this day are pissed off at me like that. I had nothing to do with it, and yet they're and I understand why they would be pissed off at me, because they assumed that I knew he was going to do it.
Yeah, that's so the station sent him out, or he just did?
No, he just did it himself. He did it by himself. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Good, clear thinking there.
He's the guy that did the Favre hotel room thing, right?
That's the guy, and that, by the way, he was right about. I will say that.
Oh, I'm not shocked, by the way.
You're not.
I covered Brett 2 years in Green Bay and 2 years here. Let me just say this. I'm not shocked. But I just remembered that turned into a huge controversy as well.
Oh, God, yes. I heard he's a raging prick. Is he?
Favre?
Yeah.
Not to cover. No, but
he's not.
know him away from the... But, I mean, you it's very hard because sometimes you're assuming that the way the guy treats the media, who, if he treats them well, is going to get curry favor, that he's that way elsewhere. It's a good question. Brett is a very, very complex guy. I will say that. He loves to play. He loves to play dumb, but he is as street smart as they get.
Really? Oh, I always thought he's an idiot.
Oh, no. Master manipulator.
Oh, he's a master manipulator. Okay, that's good. I understand that.
Oh, no question. Yeah. No, but he plays the aw shucks. Mississippi guy. Louisiana guy. He plays that role perfectly. But
I left my wallet in the car. Do you mind picking up the tab?
Oh, yeah.
But it's a great act. And it was fun to cover. I have a feeling away from the football environment, it might have been a different story. And I know when he was young, those Packers guys raised absolute hell.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes. You know how much fun that must be to be a national figure in a town the size of Green Bay?
Oh, yeah. Well, my understanding, too, is back then what they would do was it would be, I think it was Favre, Mark Chmura, who, of course, got in trouble later, Frankie Winters, who was his center, So there would be a group, and what they would do on the off days is they would go to small towns around Wisconsin.
Oh yeah,
and go into bars, and then word of mouth would spread that they were there. And let's just say that they had a lot of fun.
Did they ever go in the poorhouse in Siren, Wisconsin, like me and 3 of my friends did, and then one of the guys hit another guy over the head with a beer bottle? That ever happened?
They might have. You never know. It's 3 football players.
Oh God,
I wouldn't recommend it, but yeah.
Have you ever been in that situation when one of your friends makes this really stupid mistake and you're going to end up being part of who pays for it?
Not that bad. Yes, but not that bad.
The Poorhouse is a bar in Siren, Wisconsin. It was packed. And I won't say who it was because, he might be listening. There were 4 of us, and there were about 200 Wisconsinites. Okay, so the odds weren't great anyway. One of my friends gets in an argument with one Wisconsinite. The Wisconsinite throws a punch at him, misses. My friend hit him in the face with a beer bottle.
Oh.
And my friend Mark looked at me and said, "You better go into the tuck, man, because they're coming." And we did. We just laid on the floor, covered our head so they couldn't kick us in the head. And it went on for probably about 5 minutes. Then we just got up and left. I will never. That was quite the experience. I will tell you that.
I hope you gave your friend an earful, if not a couple of punches.
Yes. He did get to hear about that for quite some time. There's no question about it. It's like, I understand the guy threw a punch at you, but did you have to hit him with a beer bottle?
Yeah, that's
Well.
Going too far.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Yeah,
I would agree.
And Judd, I know you got to get going here shortly, but I've been hearing your booming voice in the background of all these Vikings press conferences. And now that we have our first preseason game coming up, what should we be expecting? Is the team going Super Bowl bound this year?
Here we go.
That would be a no, Tevin. That would be a no. They're not Super Bowl bound.
Not even a chance?
A Super Bowl? Oh, no, I don't think so.
Oh, Jesus. This team sucked for the last 62 years, 64 years.
Next season, I think, starts the potential for that. Assuming McCarthy develops.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I don't know they're going to be as bad as the national experts think, but I would not promise you a Super Bowl. That would be over-promising. You need to hear the truth.
Yes, you do.
You need to hear the truth.
I've decided I hate you and you have to go away because I got to watch my team for 8,000 games get their ass handed to them. Is that what you're saying? They get mediocre? Are they at least mediocre?
I would say that they could be, yeah. But
they could be mediocre.
Mediocre.
6 games, I feel like, is where they'll run a win total at.
Yeah. More importantly, is this the year they finally win a preseason game? They haven't won one since 2019.
O'Connell's never won one, and I hope he keeps it up. That's a great streak. I love that streak.
Who cares? It's
right. Exactly. That's the point. Is it's more fun. It's more fun to have the streak of we never win preseason games.
I want him trying like triple reverse flea flickers. Like
ooh, I like it.
They have fun with it. It's preseason. Nobody cares.
Exactly.
You're right about that.
All right, gentlemen.
Brilliant report, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Talk to you Tuesday.
Have a good day. Take a break. Be right back. Chris Eggert will join us right after this. South Dakota is one of the most business-friendly states in the country. And there's no better place to settle down, take advantage of those incentives than in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It is a great town. As the state's largest city with a metro population over 290,000, Sioux Falls has low business costs with a high quality of life. There's no state, corporate, or personal income tax, no inheritance tax, no limits to what your business can achieve. Sioux Falls, South Dakota was recently ranked the #1 best small city for business and careers by Forbes magazine, the #2 best state business tax climate by the Tax Foundation, and #5 top state for e-commerce by Nexus. So here's the deal. As one of the Midwest's fastest growing cities, Sioux Falls has a robust growing job market. No matter where you're at in your career, let's say, we have an opportunity waiting for you. Our city's tax-friendly climate and strong workforce don't go unrecognized. Forbes named Sioux Falls one of the top small cities for business and careers each of the last 15 years. In 2020, Sioux Falls also ranked as the #4 best city for young professionals, like the two of you, young professionals. How does South Dakota stack up against other states? We rank second in the nation for the lowest cost of doing business, the most business-friendly state, and the best business tax climate. And as South Dakota's biggest city, Sioux Falls is at the center of these benefits. Now is the perfect time to make your move to Sioux Falls. Visit SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Excited after listening to that commercial. I think I'm going to reach out to Jim Paul, see if he can pop on the show later on this morning. He should come on about like once. You guys ever met Jim Paul?
No, I haven't.
One of the great guys of all time. Don't tell him I said that, but he's one of the great guys of all time. Very, very funny guy. And again, my favorite story about Jim Paul is when his buddy mouthed off to a Navy SEAL, and Jim was the guy that had to fight the Navy SEAL. And luckily, the other Navy SEALs broke it up before the fight broke out. So we'll ask him about that. So how big was the pee stain on your pants when you thought the fight was going to go on? That's what I'd like to know. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Eggert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Mr. Eggert, how are you, sir?
What up? How are you?
Magnificent. Went for a nice walk this morning. Beautiful day. You know what's really weird, though? I don't really understand this, but as you go out the front of this building, if you walk about a half a block to the west, there's a nice little stroll. You can go around this circle, and it's almost exactly a mile. I think it's a little over a mile. But I'm walking along. On my walk, I found not one, not two, but 3 socks laying on the sidewalk in different places. Why would there so many socks laying on the side?
Is it by the waterfront there in Wayzata, down along the?
No. This is in St. Louis Park, right outside this building.
Oh, gotcha. Because I was thinking, I was in downtown Wayzata a couple weeks ago, and where what they used to call Sunset Docks, right there. There's always a stream of people going back and forth to their boats. So I was thinking maybe like people were losing their socks after they were, out on the boat with socks off or something. But man, that makes zero sense where you're at in St. Louis Park.
Remember, I was called what? I love this bar. Remember that?
Oh, was it the Toby Keith's bar?
Toby Keith's bar. Yeah. That 2 of them were at one end of it, and the other one was at the other end of it. And then the third sock was where I don't even know what's there, but there, I don't know, some damn thing. It wasn't by the Irish bar. I know that. By the way, there's a big painting outside the Irish bar here, the local.
Mm-hmm.
What is that all about? Man, that thing is huge.
Interesting. Oh, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's very pretty. But leaving a painting out on the street, is that a good idea?
Yeah. I don't know. Good question.
I don't get it.
Can I tell you a story about the one of the more demeaning moments of my life that happened at Toby Keith's? I love this bar.
Yes, here we go.
And Tommy, I know you can. AJ and Tevin, you guys aren't there yet, but it'll happen someday. Tom, I know this has probably happened to you. It just happens at a certain point in a man's adulthood. I was at Toby Keith's. This is probably. Oh, hell, I bet it had to have been at least 11 years ago. So it's been quite a while. I was there with a buddy and his brother, and we were having a grand old time. And blah, 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 blah. I went up to the bar and I'm standing there waiting to get a drink. And this gal who's at the bar turns around and looks at me. She's short. I mean, I'm kind of tall, so maybe she wasn't that short, but so she turns around, looks at me, looks me up and down, like gives me that thing, gives me the up and down. And then she goes, "You probably used to be good looking."
Oh my God. Oh God.
Oh, that's so much worse than I ever thought.
Oh my God, Chris.
It was so, and I knew like at that moment, that was it. And that's pretty much been, I mean, listen, I'm happily married. I'm not out there at the bar looking for ladies anyway. But
Sure.
when I got that, I just knew. I'm like, yep, you're done. Because Tom, I know you can, at a certain point, you become invisible.
Oh yeah, you do. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, you go from everybody knows who you are by looking at you to no, the next generation doesn't care.
They just see you might as well not even be there. They just see they see right through you. They just see dad. That's all they see.
Did you say anything back to this lady?
I don't remember. I feel like I would have. I wouldn't just probably let her say that, but I'm sure I mean, there's really nothing to say to that. I mean, she's not wrong either. I mean,
oh, I'm saying the most hurtful thing I can think of off the top of my head.
At least
immediately.
I used to look good. In your case, I'm not sure it's never happened, honey.
Yeah. It was just such a gut punch. I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna go get another drink.
You should have lifted the line from the arrest audio over at the queue. Remember what the young man said to the cop?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's phenomenal. You should say this because the way it's spelled, you're not insulting anyone. But he goes, "All right, sir, we just pulled you over for drunk driving. Seems like you're intoxicated. What's your name, sir?" He goes, "Bitch." He goes, "What?" "Bitch." He goes, "What's your name, sir?" He goes, "Bitch." B-I-C-H. He spells the word wrong. I just love that. It's one of my favorite things of all time. Doesn't know how to spell the word, but he can call himself a bitch.
That's pretty fun. That's pretty funny.
So you can do that next time.
All right, I'll remember that. I don't think I won't be at Toby Keith's because that's not Toby Keith's anymore. So
it's still sitting empty after what, like
they
5
put some
years?
like pinball thing in there for a while, or arcade or something for a while.
Did they?
Wasn't there?
Okay.
I didn't go because I'm not a hipster pinball arcade guy.
Sure.
But
Makes total sense. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Is this the worst presidential election in history? Not because of the two candidates, but because of all this rhetoric.
Oh my God,
Just
dude,
horrible.
you think you would? And I'm not. I'm on Twitter a lot. Like that's sort of my preferred platform because it's more news oriented, but it is so filled with vile, like it's ridiculous. And like you can go down the rabbit hole and oh my God, you would think that JD Vance and Tim Walz are different versions of the Antichrist based on the stuff people have been saying the last couple of days. I mean, it's like, good God. Yeah. Jeez Louise.
And if you don't like Trump, that's your business. You don't like, Kamala Harris, that's your business. Then your other choice is Robert Kennedy Jr., who now looks like stabbed a bear to death. So he's not a real great choice. Do we have anybody?
You pick the dead bear up off the side of the road.
That's not what we heard. AJ and I heard he stabbed it to death.
Oh, really? Story changing?
There was a tweet that resurfaced from the Central Park police account or whatever that was like from 2014 that said they found a bear cub like in the park that had stab wounds. So people are speculating that he might have like held back on his story a little bit.
Or maybe he was carving the meat from it because that's the whole reason that he said he stopped to pick it up in the first place was to. My favorite thing about that story is he was out doing falconry prior to the bear incident.
What a weird hobby! Not a weird hobby. Like
no, it's a weird hobby.
It's so
it couldn't be any more weird.
Like, how do you get into that?
And where do you get a falcon?
Yeah.
Like you don't just go to PetSmart and like go down the falcon aisle and pick out a falcon.
Can you rent a falcon while you're there if you don't have your own? Like, I don't know how that works.
Unbelievable.
So you got that leather glove.
Oh yeah, they got the leather glove. I forgot about that. I would not trust a hawk to come at me. Like I'm looking at him and he pokes me right in the eye with those claws. No, thank you.
You just put the little hat on him and he can't see you.
Yeah, the little blinder hat thing they have on. And, it's just the idea of him with his falconry gloves on driving down the road.
Yeah,
and up a bear carcass. I can't get enough. I don't know much about him at all, but I can't stop thinking about that.
Yeah,
and
boys,
he
let's get it in the back.
Yeah, and he was quoted as saying that because he regularly will pick up roadkill and like whatever harvest the meat, I guess. And so he was saying he has a freezer filled with roadkill meat at any given point in time. So don't eat it. You can't eat at everybody's house, guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be doing that.
No.
That's just, I don't know. That's all I'm saying is, All right, Buster, I know you got to go and do your important job.
That's right. Big things going on today. That's for sure.
No question. One tip. What's one of the big things going on today?
There's a search going on in Lake Michigan, about 60 miles outside of Chicago on the Indiana side for missing Egan teenager. Who's 17. It sounds like he went in the water and bad. So we're working to figure out a little bit more about who that teenager is and, checking in with the authorities over there to hopefully they'll be able to find him. So that's one of our big stories we're on today. So
really sorry to hear that, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, Pally, we will talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, guys. Sounds good.
Thank you very much, sir. Channel 5's Chris Eggert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. We'll be right back right after this. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. Thank you. They're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more, To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You horn tootin'. God, what time does Jim Paul get out of bed, for Christ's sake? It's 10 minutes to 9. I'm away from my phone. Get up, you pill.
Well, hey, when you're slugging deals on wheels, I mean, that goes deep into the night. I understand he's got to get that shut-eye.
So basically, he needs to sleep.
He's going to need to. I mean, I don't want to take the cliche car guy thing, but he's slashing deals left and right on everything GMC.
Yeah, he's probably busy inflating those wacky arm people.
He talks
in front
about
of
that
his
all the time.
store.
He would never, ever get. Tom, what do you think? I'll put a big grizzly bear on top of my. Oh no, it was an ape. The ape on the roof.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put a big ape on there. He hates that stuff, or at least he used to. Everybody has these apes up on top of the building, whipping their on because of the wind whips them, or they're big balloons or something. I guess.
Yeah, it just seems awfully gimmicky.
Well, yes. Every car dealership will do that. They're like, we're not going home until we sell 1,000 cars, and it's like, okay, like everybody calm down.
Yeah.
One of my favorites as a kid was like, hey, Tommy, if there was a car that you would, I'm like 16, so I got no money. I can't afford to buy. Is there a car you'd ever want? I mean, so I was talking about, I've always liked Jaguars. Those XKEs are really cool looking, all the rest of it. He goes, you know what? I got a friend that's got one of those. I'll bring it over and show it to you. He brings it over. I said, isn't that the guy that lives right down the block? He goes, yeah, why? I said, well, he's at work. He goes, yeah, I know, but he went over and stole his car so he could show it to me. He didn't mean to keep it, but he did steal it to bring it over so I could look at it. That's real nice to hear. Thank you so much. I got to ask you this question. I have not thought much about this. What's the one thing you would never say no to? Is there one thing you would say? And you can't throw in the Tang. It's just not fair, because nobody would ever say no to that.
Oof.
I wouldn't think.
I would say probably like pizza.
Ooh, that's a good
or like
pick.
Any of my favorite foods, where it's like, even if I'm not hungry, I'm probably still gonna I'll take one.
I'm gonna say, it's tough, because I feel like something like that is maybe just like, hey, let me buy you a beer. Sure, you can get you can have the first one. If we're out or whatever, like, hey, the first one's on me. You mind if I would get you? Yeah, absolutely. Then I'm probably gonna return the favor, and it's gonna even out because I'm gonna buy the second one. So just whatever.
But those are good answers: pizza and a free beer.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I would just go with any Italian food. I could never say no to any Italian food. I just couldn't do it. Okay, I'm going to click on the story now and see what most people came up with. There are a lot of reasons people turn down an offer. Maybe they're too full, can't eat or drink anything else. Maybe they feel that it's impolite to accept. Maybe they don't want what is being offered, or maybe they can't say yes because they're already married. Oh, the shtup. Is that what that's all about? The Tang? Someone asked the internet, what's the one thing you would never say no to? And the best responses I got, and I'm scrolling down because there are 15 of them. Now, again, it's interesting because I didn't know any of this stuff was in there. Mushroom ravioli was number 15, which I wouldn't care for mushroom ravioli. I just want the regular, tomato sauce, the deal with the ravioli be good, but I wouldn't turn it down.
I think that would probably be the easiest thing for me to turn down.
Mushroom ravioli.
Mushroom, anything mushroom.
Would that be a cream sauce, wouldn't it?
Probably. Or do they mean the mushrooms are like stuffed in the ravioli, right?
That's what I anticipated. Mushrooms are fine. It's just, I don't know. Like, I'm not in the mood for them all the time. I know some people love them, but I really got to be in the mood to be like, okay, now let's do it.
I understand. Number 14, I don't get this one. The Lord of the Rings Extended Edition? What?
This is very weird. Who's offering this to you?
I don't know.
That being said,
like if it's on TV, you're going to watch it?
The Lord of the Rings Extended Edition. I mean, it's a great trilogy, but I don't know who's just offering like, hey, do you want a free box set of these? Like,
yeah, Lord of the Rings I didn't even know there was an extended edition. Did you?
No, so long.
No.
It's so long.
I don't think I've seen more than 5 minutes of any of the Lord of the Rings movies.
Okay, this one Uncle Tommy is telling you, it depends on where you live, what neighborhood you grew up in. Because number 13 is you would never turn down a hug. There are certain people in the neighborhood you don't want hugging you. I'm just here to tell you. I definitely would turn down a hug.
Let me tell you, that's false because I turned down a hug.
There you go.
I think yesterday.
Just stiff arm the person.
He's been on the show, Ross Brendel. He's a very
Ross a great guy.
He's a very affectionate guy. He'd like if he likes to celebrate every single thing. I gave him the stiff arm. I said, Ross, knuckle bump.
No hugs, knuckle bump. All right, so that's good.
Hugs are for massive achievements.
Yes.
It's just like, oh, hey,
yep.
There's the chicken tenders in the cafeteria today.
You know, one thing I will tell you, there's one person though that you guys both know that every time I see her, she gives me a hug, and that's Ginny Hubbard. But again, I've known her since she was a little kid, so I've known her for her whole life.
Yeah,
but she's a very, very nice person. You would never turn down an invitation to have a beer.
Yeah. Okay. I'm on board with that one.
Okay, you wouldn't. Okay, so we finally found one, a beer.
Yeah, that's
we would all agree on that. And invitation to go shopping? No, thank you.
It depends on who I'm with,
right?
Because if it's like I'm going shopping and I don't have to pay, then sure. But if it's like my girlfriend wants to go shopping and I know that I'm going to have to pay for a lot of stuff, no, thank you.
Okay, now you're going to have to reveal some inside info on this next one.
Okay, no promises.
Never a bad time for that. Would you ever turn down a joint?
Yes, I absolutely would.
Me
yeah,
too.
I mean, because I have things to do today. I can't just be high walking around.
Yeah.
Plus, I would never smoke a joint. I'm not inhaling smoke. It ain't going to happen. Right?
I just that there seems like there's very inopportune times for.
Yes. Okay, so good. We all agreed on that one. Someone asking me to go for a car ride. I don't care where we're going. Hell yes, I want to go. No, thank you. Nope.
I know some people enjoy just going out for a drive. It's calling with these gas prices.
Yeah, there you go.
In this economy,
That's a very good point. I don't understand this. They also clarified that they are not a golden retriever. What? Oh, because
dogs like to stick their head out the window.
They do. That's true.
For a little drive. Yeah.
Okay, I understand now. Number 8, you would never turn down a cute pet, or specifically the opportunity to pet a cat.
Cats, not so much, but like if somebody has a dog, like I'm gonna pet the dog.
Oh yeah,
and I'm gonna ignore whoever's holding the leash.
What do you got?
I'm not as big of a cat person as some people are. Like I'll do the little the knuckle pet, if that makes sense. Like it looks like but I don't really care. A dog, absolutely. Like let me get down. Who's your good boy? Who's your good boy?
Dogs are the greatest.
Yeah, absolutely.
We always have cats too. Well, we lived on a farm. You have to have cats.
Yeah, for the mice.
For the mice, because I mean, you live on a farm. There are mice out in that barn, and if you leave them alone, they'll come into your house. Number 7. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I just hit number 1 for me. I would never turn down ice cream. I love ice cream, man.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Oh, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
Okay, so all 3 of us would never turn. Does that take now basically the invitation to have a beer? We talked about a hug. So yeah, so far we all agree on ice cream, the strongest.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, number 6 is flowers. Well, some guy walks up and you go, here's some flowers for you. Go, get the hell away from me.
I'll tell you what, you can save the flowers. Just give me a crisp 5.
There you go.
Just give me a $5 and we're good. That's going to do me a little more good than flowers.
What's interesting about that is the next one is money. So there you go.
That being said, I will turn down like money. I feel
me too.
There's sometimes where like, especially sometimes at work. I don't know if you've ever had to work a job like this, Tevin or Tom, where you're not supposed to take tips. So you're like, I can't. I don't want to lose my job. I know I did a great job and I helped you with whatever, but you got to put that back in your wallet.
Yeah.
All right. I understand that. But yeah, money. Now I would sometime turn down money. I agree with you guys. Like, something's going on here.
Yeah. Because there's like, I DJ'd a father-daughter dance and like the little girls were like, oh, like here's some like $1 for playing whatever song they wanted. And I was like, oh no, like keep it, like you're fine. And then I look up and there's just a wall of dads like, take the money, take the money.
Okay, 4 of them left. Number 4, pizza.
Yep,
you hit it, man. Number 4 is pizza. So there you have it. And none of us would turn down pizza.
No.
Number 3, a breath mint or gum. No, because they're thinking your breath stinks.
Yeah.
But I think that's exactly why I wouldn't turn it down. If they think my breath stinks, I want to fix the problem. Also,
okay.
I chew gum religiously. I always have a pack of like Wrigley's double mints. I gotta have something. I'm gonna have lockjaw by the age of like 32.
I love Mentos too.
Oh yeah,
the little Mentos gum. I love that stuff. Nap. I'm not a big napper.
I enjoy them, but I stink at them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I lay down and I want it to be like 30 minutes max. It turns into 3 hours and my night's ruined.
Well, exactly what you're talking about. I don't like taking naps, but I do fall asleep watching TV once in a while.
Okay.
So I suppose it'd be the same thing. I don't intentionally take a nap, but I fall asleep. Okay, we've gotten to number one. I haven't seen what it is yet. So you said pizza, and you said, what did you say again?
Just like grabbing a beer.
Grabbing a beer. That's a good one. Okay, number one is a paid day off. Well, who the hell's going to turn that down? If you're going to get paid to stay at home, of course you would.
Yeah, those are my favorite days.
Saturday, Sunday, but those aren't paid days, so that doesn't.
Or
count.
like if you have PTO at work and you're like, oh, I can, and even if it's not going on vacation, you're just like, oh yeah, I took today off. I'm still getting paid, and I get to just watch TV or play video games. Yeah.
So this makes total sense. We pretty much locked in, the three of us, on all the same things.
Yeah, the first few were a little rocky, and I didn't like tortellini.
Kicking off with mushroom ravioli.
Yeah, mushroom ravioli. That's what
crazy work.
Mushroom ravioli. Put a little sauce on there and let's go, huh? A little meat sauce, even.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yep.
All right, we'll take a break. Be right back. More news. Of course, Kristen Burt joins us in about 15 minutes. Looking forward to that. We'll be right back. Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Well, we are back.
We sure are, Tevin.
Tom is taking a little stroll. He should be back any second.
Well, I know he's waking up Jim Paul.
I'll say he's probably went over to his house to shake him out of bed. Like, get up and get on
up
the
and
show.
sell me a car.
You run one spot.
Yeah, we cut the last ad out, so that way we'd come
So
back.
I'd look bad.
Yep.
So it'd make me look bad. Is that why you
is
did
Jim
it?
Paul up now or no?
I haven't heard from him yet.
Oh my God, that guy gets his beauty sleep.
What the hell, Jim? Oh, Tom, my shoulder to the wheel selling cars. I can hear it now.
They're not going to sell themselves.
That's true. The cars will not sell themselves, but yeah, he's I'd like to have, like I said, I'd like to have him pop on about once a month because Jim Paul can tell a story. That I will tell you. When Craig Weiss was still alive, one of the great writers, Craig Weiss was long before you guys' time. I don't know, but he must be dead 20 years by now. Wiese, if that's what you're looking up.
Yep.
When did Craig die? I bet you it's 20 years ago.
Okay.
But God, we used to get together in his office, and there was some intoxication going on, and the stories would start. As a matter of fact, Jim Paul came by my house when we lived on the farm in Dayton. He was picking me up because we were all going up to the cabin together, like 8 of us, something like that. Longville, Minnesota is where this friend of ours had a cabin. We go down to the, I don't know, what do you call the little house attached to the barn? Is there a name for that house?
I don't know.
There is a name, but I can't remember what the hell it is. But so I come out carrying a case of wine with me. Mm-hmm. And just then Catherine comes walking down from the house. She looks at Jim. She looks at me. She looks at the case of wine and goes, "Oh boy, glug, glug, glug." I'm like, yeah, okay, honey. Settle down. Personal attacks. What do you got?
Oh, I found a different Craig Weiss from Louisiana that died in 2011, but
it's not him.
Nope, can't find it.
Wiese. You can't find Craig Weiss. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. I don't know. But I bet you, see, if Jim Paul would get off his ass and stop working, I could ask him when he died because he would know, right?
Probably, yeah.
Typical. I want to run this by another. One thing I do love about these news stories that pop up on my screen is I don't pre-read them, so I really don't know what, like that. You know, the one thing you'd never say no to. I had no idea what it would be, but yeah, paid days off would make sense that it'd be the number one thing. You would never say no, that's all right. I'll take the day off, but you don't have to pay me, right?
Yeah, it'd be weird to turn that down, right? Like if you have the opportunity to just kind of hang out and do whatever you want while getting paid for work, you're not going to say, actually, I'm above that. I want more of a struggle. No, you don't need to pay me. No, you're not going to say that.
You're not going to say you don't have to pay me because I need to struggle.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, I understand that. I'm going to click on a headline right now. Just popped up. The 6 deadliest jobs in America. Any guesses? I got to believe those guys that work up on those I-beams and those that are on the 50th floor on the I-beam, they don't fall off all that often anymore, though, do they?
I don't know. Well, like I feel like construction workers, they probably lump them all in and just say that's a dangerous job. Because, I mean, whether it's you're on the side of the road, on the freeway, and cars are speeding by, or even when they built, I think US Bank Stadium, somebody fell off of.
I think you're right.
Like the top of it and ended up dying.
I think you're right.
I'm curious to find out what the like parameters for this are, because if it's like all time, I know the stat that people like to say is like being the president is the deadliest because most of like more the percentage of presidents that have been like killed is high. That type of thing.
Yep.
For every 100,000 people working in the U.S., nearly 4 of them die on the job every year. And if you're thinking the only way I could die at my job is from boredom, which is true on this job, you're not going to die from this job.
Yeah, it would have to take a lot of boredom.
And it'd take a lot of boredom. You're absolutely right. That's pretty insensitive. I can't believe you'd say that, you pills. This is a very hard job, but okay, the 6 deadliest jobs, drivers, sales workers, and other truck drivers, 30 deaths per 100,000. That's number 6. Number 5, aircraft pilots and flight engineers, 36 deaths per 100,000. They're all per 100,000, so I'll stop saying that.
Okay.
Construction, there it is. Number 4, 39 deaths. I don't understand this. Number 3 is fishing and hunting workers.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, like if you're on like the deadliest catch type ship and you got the middle of the ocean, all those waves. Yeah.
It's a very good point you're making. Fishing and hunting workers, 51 deaths. Roofers, there it is, construction worker. You're absolutely right. Roofers, 68 deaths per 100,000 workers.
I think if I had to be a roofer, I would be dead within a week.
You wouldn't be good at it.
I would be so bad. I'm so bad on like balancing like on stuff, like just being on that slanted like high up surface. I would eat it like trying to carry shingles from one side to the other and then just tumble down and probably break my neck.
Yep.
There you have it. The number one most dangerous job. This does not surprise me in the least, but it's not something you think of living in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Logging workers.
Oh yeah.
Number one deaths, 101 deaths per 100,000. And that's a lot.
That's a job where you got to be cut from a different cloth.
Oh God. Yeah.
Like it's hard work. Like nothing about being a logger is like easy. Like,
nope.
Like here I'm pushing just buttons, and like some jobs, it's like you have, the really hard grinding work or whatever. But then it's like, okay, the 30 minutes a day that I get to like push the log down, like you don't get that.
Right.
You're not like just hanging out. Everything there is brutal from clock in to clock out.
Yeah. Like, and I remember as a kid, you hear stories about the logging industry and like the log jams, and you'd have to get people that would go out and and then they just fall in the massive logs in the river and you never see them again.
That I bet you happens all the time.
Yeah. I'm not man enough to do that job.
I would agree with you on that one. I am not man enough either. There's no question about that. Just the way life is, right?
Yep.
So it didn't say anything about, podcast disc jockeys in there.
Yeah, radio host must have been just outside the top 10, I think, on that list.
Although when KQRS was K Adam and K Eve, what do you think of that, by the way? Those are some call letters.
I like it.
K Adam and K Eve, KEVE and KADM. I
like it.
It was a country station back in those days. And apparently a guy died at the console.
Like just old age? Did somebody break in and off him, or?
Well, it was a country station, so he's probably a booze hound. Does that make any sense to you?
That makes a little sense.
He heard the 1000th song about driving your truck down a back road with blue jeans on.
6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. I do like that song though. That's a good song.
Country is.
Oh, that was a real song. That wasn't just made up.
6 days on the road.
Oh, okay.
Find it. Oh, could you find it for him? So
I don't know what the name of the song is, but yeah,
it's 6 days on the road. That's the name of the
There we
song.
go.
And I can't remember. Dave Dudley I think that's who did it. I think it's Dave Dudley, but I'm not sure. I never worked a country station, so I don't know. WDGY went from a rock station to country.
I believe it's Sawyer Brown.
Oh, Sawyer Brown. That's a band.
Oh, okay. 6 days on the road. Dave Dudley.
That day,
song by Sawyer Brown. I don't know.
There you go.
But yeah.
Ready? Can we play it?
As soon as I get done with this ad for Granger Moving, then yes.
Oh, movers, what are they, like number 5 for dying, weren't they?
Yeah.
Something like that. Here we go. I love this song. It's a great song.
Well, I pulled out of Pittsburgh, rolling eastern seaboard.
Is this a popular song?
Oh, it's huge.
Okay.
But about 50 years ago.
Okay.
I feel like it's used a lot in movies or
Yep.
things like that whenever there's a road trip.
Gonna make it home tonight.
Okay.
It's a great song. Don't you think?
It's catchy. It's got that twang.
Very twangy. Yeah, no question about it. But yeah, he's playing, I believe, 6 days on the road, and he died on the air while that song was on the air.
And he did not make it home that night. No.
Does it say what year? That might have come out maybe over 60 years ago, come to think of it.
The song?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Early 60s, maybe?
Oh my gosh, come on, Wikipedia.
1963.
Yeah,
So it was 61 years ago that thing came out.
Peaked at number 2 on the Billboard's Hot
never
Country
made it to
Song.
one.
That's why I've never heard of it. I only listen to number 1.
That's it, number 1. Exactly. Well, that had to be a Hank Williams song or something, then, I guess.
It was recorded in Minneapolis
Yep, it was. Indeed, it was.
at K-Bank Studios.
K-Bank.
Made a song about driving from Pittsburgh in Minneapolis.
That's exactly right. But one thing I got to ask you guys, because it just popped in my head, because I try to listen to a lot of talk radio.
Okay.
And I try to go from outfit to outfit, everything from NPR to, far right politics and all stuff. I try to bring it all in. There's a station, I think it's 103.5, I think. I don't know who owns it or whatever, but it's kind of a conservative talk station. But the problem is, no matter where I go in the Twin Cities, it disappears, and a country station. I think it's something KOW, the Cow. It's called the Country Cow or something like that.
Okay.
I mean, can't they find a better signal than that to put their show on?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's cool. 103.5, the Lake's greatest hits.
Cool.
That's what it's saying here.
Oh, is that the? It must have changed. It used to be a country station, but now it's the Cool 105.
Yeah, cool 103.5.
103.5.
KUAL.
And where is it? It's got to be the southern suburbs, I would imagine.
Doesn't say where
I've never heard of that station.
they're at, but they're currently playing "Say You Love Me" by Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, well, that's a different. Well, Cool 108 used to do that, but Cool 108's no longer in existence.
Must not be, because it's 103.5 according to.
Maybe there's 3 stations on that in this market on that channel, because it fades in and fades out, and then it fades in and fades out, and then it just drops out.
Yeah, Cool 108 's still around. I'm guessing the station you're talking about probably isn't local, so like it's bleeding into. You're getting out of range, basically, is what I think.
Yeah, the music thing is not in this market. I think
Yeah.
it is KCOW or something like that, KCOW or something.
Okay.
But which, again, I just, because I try to listen to other people. What I like to do is get everybody's opinion about what's really going on in the world and what's happening with the Democrats and what's happening with the Republicans. And there's not a lot of the Republican stuff going on in this market.
No, and I think this one is located in Brainerd, and it's a Hubbard radio station. So shout out to our friends at Cool 103.5 in Hubbard.
Oh, it's up, but that one's up in Brainerd, so
yeah.
it can't be that.
So yeah, this must be a different one that you're trying to get.
Apparently, it's a very popular dial position. 103.5, baby. No question about it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I just I try to keep up on, what's the and if you watch the TV news, it doesn't do the job for you, because they lie their ass off as much as the politicians do. You got Fox lying about this, and then you got the other, what would be the liberal outfit on CNN?
CNN, yeah.
CNN is very liberal. So I mean, all they do is lie to their listeners on both sides. How can you? Is there any way to find the truth about what is actually happening politically in this market, or in this country, I should say?
No, because even if you go directly to the source from the politician that's telling you they're going to pass whatever bill or this is the plan, really there's probably some sort of hidden agenda for why they're doing what they're doing and all that. So it's tough to get a story straight.
Yeah, because there's a big deal going on right now, and you can't really get both sides of the issue. Apparently, I guess JD Vance is weird, and Tim Walz apparently called him weird. Now everybody's calling him weird, and this, that, and the other.
And everybody's calling Tim Tampon Tim.
Why do they call him Tampon Tim?
I guess he passed a bill that put free tampons in schools for kids that are going through
in the boys' room.
Yeah, and he did it where they were in both the women's and men's room, and everybody was like, "Well, that's weird that you want him in there," and so now they're all calling him Tampon Tim.
Tampon Tim, that's what they call him. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah,
I like Tampon Tim. That's a good one. Yeah, his big deal is apparently a lot of them are saying, and again, who knows what the truth is, that he lied about being in combat. Yeah. Apparently he was in the National Guard for 24 years, which is very honorable, no question about that. But did he really lie about being in combat? Have you ever heard that?
I saw something about it today where somebody came out and said that he retired 5 months before being deployed or something like that. I don't know if he actually was or not, but they said he was in the National Guard, but he maybe is embellishing a little bit on what he actually did.
The claim was that he retired right before his unit was going to, but it's been kind of overturned or proven wrong, just because you have the contract of it's 6 years or whatever. So it was essentially, he knew his time was coming up, and he applied instead of extending his contract. It sounded like he put in the request to officially retire from the military. And that request was put in before any sort of warning or notification that his unit would go. So he was just kind of following through on the request that he had made prior to that. So,
okay.
But it's one of those where there's differing points where,
absolutely,
to what you were saying, Tom, you don't know exactly what's true yet.
Yeah, because the other side says that as soon as he found out he was going to be deployed to Iraq, he quit.
Yeah, and I mean,
who knows what's right?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a military guy, but that doesn't seem like something for a group that is very order and everything like that. There's processes. It doesn't seem like you can just wake up and be like, "Yeah, I'm done today.
No, I don't think that's what they're saying. They're saying that he saw this coming. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on that whole deal. I didn't serve 24 years in the military, but I'm trying to find some truth. Is there any truth anywhere? I mean, is there anything you listen to in your car on the radio that's the truth? Other than this show, of course. If I think people are a piece of shit, I tell them.
Just Kristen Bird Entertainment Reports. She's
it's a very good point.
Source, I trust.
Why don't we turn to Kristen Bird and find out what the truth really is right after this?
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. In the morning, I've got to be right because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News evening meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather. So you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you talk to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. The one person you can turn to for the truth would be Kristen Bird Entertainment News, brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So we're trying to figure out all of these. And by the way, I glanced at my phone, which was a huge mistake because a thing just popped up. We're trying to find out what's true and what isn't. What I'm talking about, Kristen, is the fact that you go to one station, you hear this is the truth. You go to the other station, and that's the truth. You go to Fox, you go to CNN. They're exactly at opposite ends of everything. So you're trying to find the truth, and it's impossible these days.
It's not impossible. I tell you every time, Associated Press and Reuters.
Yeah, but
Neutral.
So what are they reporting?
They just really report the facts, and then they allow you to use your critical thinking skills to decide where you stand on the issue.
Okay, I want to read this because this just popped up on my phone. It was sent to me by, well, I don't want to say who it is because he's a famous news guy. The Walls horse semen story has been debunked. What the hell is that? I've never even heard of the Walls horse semen story. What the hell is that? Anyone?
No. I have not investigated that one.
There was a photoshopped image of like an AP page that said that there was a claim that Tim Walz had to get his stomach pumped because he like drank too much while in college, but then it was like the edited part was that it was because he drank a gallon of
Why would he do that?
Exactly.
A gallon.
But the
That's
problem
like
is, Tom,
the
is that
Richard Gere gerbil story.
Yes, the Richard Gere gerbil story.
the problem is that people see them. They're like, that's a fact. Now I'm going to.
Why would anyone believe that?
Tom, people are stupid.
They really
People are nuts. No, people are nuts. Some
They are
people
nuts.
really believe the most bizarre things that come off of Facebook. Facebook has been, honestly, the death of our society.
Really?
I do think, I mean, there are plenty of other social media platforms out there that have their own issues, but Facebook has done the most damage.
And it like started with Facebook. I don't know how much
did it?
else. Like that was the first major social network.
Yeah, because that's the only one I'm on, and I don't really even go on it that much anymore. I just, I don't want to say who this is, but it's a guy who works at Hubbard, and I like the guy. He's a really good guy, but man, people are going after him, saying all kinds of horrible stuff about this guy, and that was on X, I think. I'm not sure. It was on one of the sites, but it's like, I am not the kind of guy that's going to sit and type into a little deal that I'm coming over to whoop your ass and you're a piece of. If I want to tell somebody they're a piece of crap, I'd tell them to their face. Why wouldn't you? Otherwise it means nothing, right? But social media did this, didn't it?
Social media, yeah. There's this weird sort of like crowd mind or hive mind, where people sit there and they just all like. There's one controversy, and that person will then get death threats, and people will criticize them, and let's say if it was a political policy, let's just be that they're being criticized for, they're going to sit there and cut you down for your age, your weight, your looks, your family members. Like none of it makes sense. They just go on the attack mode, and that's what I hate about social media. And I feel like it's why I've personally pulled back. Every time there's a controversy, the criticism, and let's be honest, there's a thing about constructive criticism is one thing, but it's the vitriol that I don't get. I don't live my life like that.
What is it in a person's brain that drives them to do that? Because once again, it means nothing to me unless I say it to your face. It doesn't mean anything.
Hurt people hurt people. I really believe that. There's something within you that is going on that you don't like, and you take it out on somebody else to be like, AJ, let me tell you, I'm having a lousy day, but I'm going to take it out all on you, and I'm going to pick on you all day.
Yeah.
But in a way that's really ugly.
Yeah. Or let your favorite sports team player miss a kick or miss a free throw. And it's just instantly like you and your whole family should die in a house fire. Like that's what people go to.
And for women, we get sexual violence launched at us.
God.
I've had that. I mean, I had stacks and stacks of like sexual violence, even just like the threats, and we would just send them in over articles I wrote. I'm an entertainment reporter, but we would have to hand them in because they're considered physical threats.
Yeah.
Wait, you would get threats mailed? Like, what are you like? Was there a specific story that triggered somebody to send this to you, or like what was the circumstances?
One of the big ones was probably the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, when we were writing about it quite a bit. If we said anything negative about Johnny Depp, his fan base, they are not pleasant. And honestly, I prefer not to write Johnny Depp articles if I can avoid it, to be honest, because it's so crazy because that story was, really entrenched in domestic violence, I think on both sides. I'm going to say that. I don't think either side came out clean in this, even though people think that Johnny Depp was completely vindicated. I personally think he used a lot of his money to make Amber Heard look even worse. But, then to have sexual violence like threatened to me, I'm like, you're not even looking at any of what's the point of this case then? If you're not learning from that, and then you're upset that I wrote one negative about Johnny Depp that's true and was held up in court. What am I supposed to do?
I know. It just, the whole thing is like everybody's a tough guy on social media, which drives me nuts. I hate that.
They're tough guys, but you have to watch out for that one person that will actually, and that's why we have to take, even if someone just emails me and threatens something, you have to take it as seriously as the person who's going to do it in person.
I understand that. And now the happy part of the Kristen Burt report. Here it comes. But I just wanted to ask you that question. It's just people, and it is social media. People have gotten much worse in the things they do. Look, first of all, I got to be honest with you. social media was a lot more fun when you're drunk.
At 2 a.m.
At 2 o'clock in the morning. It's a lot more fun then.
And like lashing out at people left and right.
Exactly. I'm coming to your house. Here's your address. I know it. That kind of deal. So what's going on in your world, sister?
Well, the big story right now is Taylor Swift's concert being canceled in Vienna, which is honestly, it's a really big story. And it was US officials who notified authorities in Austria that there were threats out there. And had that not happened, it's kind of scary to think about because, she is performing at sold out venues. There's 3 nights of concerts. As of right now, her Wembley Stadium concerts will continue. Those are August 15th to the 20th. And she's still rumored to be performing at the closing ceremony at the Olympics on Sunday. Not confirmed, but still out there. But France has been basically under lockdown anyway because they're having the Olympics. And Wembley Stadium said that they are amping up security. But as of right now, the Vienna dates are not rescheduled. And I don't know if they will ever happen just because after Wembley, she comes back to the US and completes the last half of her North American tour.
Why would anyone? Because she's a billionaire? Is that why they're attacking her?
I think it's the mass venue. You know that you're going to have a sold out audience. A lot of Americans are also flying to the European concerts.
Oh, okay.
So you have Europeans and Americans. The 2 suspects who were arrested had pledged their allegiance to ISIS. They had been radicalized on the internet. Yeah. So kind of a scary thing. And Taylor had written about this in 2019. She wrote an essay for Elle and said, my biggest fear is concert safety and not being able to keep all of my fans safe.
Yeah, because not even just the people in the stadium. A lot of times there's people that maybe can't afford tickets to get in that hang out in the parking lot and so there's almost just as many people, it seems like, outside the stadium waiting to get in. So yeah, it could have been a very bad situation.
Yeah, Tevin, that's a great point. And she just did her Munich dates and they were all, I don't know if you've ever been to Olympic Park in Munich, but there's a great grassy area. 55,000 people were showing up a night to sit on that hill.
God.
55,000. That's not even including the hundreds of thousands that were in the stadium.
Get a life, for Christ's sake. Jesus, that's sad. I mean, the Beatles came to Met Stadium in 1965. I didn't go hang out in the parking lot.
Yeah,
but if you couldn't afford tickets, would you have maybe done it?
If I could have bought a ticket, you know how much the tickets were? This is 1965, Met Stadium. I believe some of the tickets started at $5. Can you even imagine that these days?
No.
$5. But then I found out Dan Rasmussen, my son-in-law, his father was one of the directors of security for that event. And he told me later, I said, how did you ever get them in and out of that stadium? And he said, that was very easy. I said, how'd you do it? We put them in laundry, those big, giant laundry baskets, and put towels over them. So you never knew the Beatles were in these, these, I guess, laundry venues, I guess.
Taylor does that too. They put her in like
really?
Yeah, they put her in like one of those like big, I don't know, like I always call them like trunks, you use to carry equipment back and forth. They pull her in on that. She sometimes even comes out of her own New York City home in some type of wardrobe type of thing because she can't just walk outside her home in New York City.
When I was at Capitol Records, the Beach Boys were on Capitol Records, nicest guys in the world. But Brian Wilson, when he came out of the locker room or wherever he was to go on stage, there were 4 bodyguards with 4 sheets, and they each held 2, ends of they surrounded him with 4 sheets. So even if you were standing in the hall, you couldn't see him. Same deal. He just didn't want to be looked at. And Brian Wilson's one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to meet, but his father sent him down some pretty questionable mental roads. I will tell you that.
Kind of like Joe Jackson and Michael Jackson.
Yeah, there you go. Same story, basically. Mm-hmm. You're just not going to live a long life when that kind of thing happens to you. But yeah, Brian, I mean, I could go in and talk to him in the dressing room, but then once he came out, you couldn't go near him. Well, the hell of a way to live, don't you think?
It's a terrible way to live. You never, honestly, after living in Los Angeles a long time, you never want to be too famous. You just don't want the fame. It's okay to be, have some sort of notoriety, but be able to still grocery shop and like go to Disneyland and do those things, normal things with your family. But being super famous, it is not fun.
Who would be the most famous actor right now? I don't even, man, woman. I have no idea who that would be now.
I mean, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that's a good.
You
Yeah,
know,
good.
and Tom Cruise is willing to be a movie star too. Like if you saw him in the stands at the Olympics, people were approaching him. I'm sure he has security too, but people were approaching him asking for selfies, and he would walk over to them and he would take the selfies because he enjoys it. That's his thing. That's his jam. But you know, for other people, you have people like Julia Roberts. They just don't live in Los Angeles. You know, they live in like a ranch in New Mexico, or they just go into another city where it's just easier to exist and people just mind their own business.
That's a whole different life. I mean, obviously not at that level, but I went through that for about 5 years in Minneapolis when the KQ Morning Show blew up. I had to have an armed guard with me all the time. Isn't that weird?
That is fancy.
That's very, very fancy. Wow,
that's fancy, Tom. But also, did you worry about your family safety too? Because it brings a lot of eyeballs to like where you live, where you're going. And in the era of social media, it's why celebrity security teams say, do not post until you have left that place. A day later, 2 days later.
Yep, that makes sense. I'm going to ask Andy on the family show if he remembers. A couple of Halloweens, we had to have 2 police cars in front of our house. So when the trick-or-treaters came up, there were cops there.
Were you giving out full-size candy?
We gave up really good stuff.
You have to when you're like the guy in the neighborhood. You cannot give out fun size, Tom.
That's true. Yes, I'm going to ask him on the show if he remembers that, because that was, I mean, the squad cars and the cops everywhere. Being that notorious, I'm not even going to say famous, being that notorious is pretty uncomfortable. So I can't even imagine what it's like to be like the biggest movie star in the world. It's got to be way bigger than that. So that's got to be a massive pain in the ass.
No, I want to be able to go to the grocery store at 10 p.m. and be like, I have a craving for chips. I'm going in my pajamas and my slippers. Nobody cares.
Did somebody call you? Is that why you just said that?
Call me.
Yes, because downstairs at the cafeteria in this building, they have these things called goat chips. Have you had these yet?
Nope.
They're the most delicious potato chips I ever had. And I walked by there this morning and I almost went in to get some. And now you drove me to go get some after the show.
It's my fault that you have a craving for goat chips.
Oh my God, these potato chips are delicious. Remember how they used to be too salty?
You need to talk about them on social media and they will send you a huge box to your house.
Oh God, goat chips. I don't know why they're called greatest of all time, I guess.
Greatest of all time, just like Simone Biles.
Oh my God, is that good? Now I have to go get some. It's your fault. What the hell? Any other big stories we should know about before you go?
I just think this is kind of because we won't be talking Olympics until 2 more years until the Winter Olympics roll around. Colin Jost he was sent off. I don't know if people know this. He was sent off to Tahiti to cover surfing for NBC, which is very random. And he had like the worst time there. He got an ear infection, which is weird as an adult. First of all, it's kind of unusual. And then he also cut his feet like on coral while he was swimming. And it kept on getting like worse and worse and worse. And he had to leave Tahiti because I think he probably has something similar to a staph infection. They couldn't treat it in Tahiti. So now some Australian weatherman has taken over for him and has gotten like the biggest break of his life to be on like a global broadcast covering surfing for NBC. But Colin Jost is headed back to the US. We hope he's actually feeling better because it is like 3 of his toes and you don't want to lose any of those staph infections. Are serious.
Yeah, we had him in studio once. He was a very, very nice guy. But who's he married to again?
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson, that's right. So, I mean, is he still a great guy now that he's married to Scarlett Johansson, or has he got an edge now?
Oh, I think he's still, I find him funny. I find him pretty self-deprecating.
Very nice
And
guy.
yeah, he seems pretty humble considering he's married to an A-list, very hot looking celebrity.
No doubt about it. No. Well, I mean, your husband's got to be going through the same thing, you know.
Oh my gosh. I mean, how does he live every day?
He gets through a day. That's all I have to say.
It shows how famous his wife is when you look up stories about him leaving Tahiti. He's referred to as Scarlett Johansson's husband instead of Colin Jost.
That happens to Simone Biles' husband, and he plays for the Chicago Bears. So
there you go.
It's tough when your wife is more famous, but you got to live with it.
Not a bad problem to have, I guess.
It's not a bad problem. And just because we're talking SNL, because Colin Jost is obviously still in the show, Steve Martin turned down imitating Tim Waltz for Saturday Night Live for the season. Steve Martin said, I don't do impressions. I'm just a guy in glasses, so he's not doing it.
That's true. He doesn't do it. Who could they get that kind of looks like? Well, if William Frawley were alive, he could do it, but he's dead.
Well, I think the other names that have been thrown around: Al Franken, Andy Richter, John Goodman.
Well, I like John Goodman,
and all of them are SNL friendly.
Yeah.
So
I think Andy Richter would be my pick there. Al Franken might know him personally just because of the former Minnesota
governor, whatever.
I feel like Al Franken will get asked. I don't feel like it.
Yeah, I feel like there's still too much around him at all, and also I don't know how well that would draw for SNL.
Nobody cares.
Don't you have to have talent to do it too? That's the other reason they couldn't do Al Franken.
No, he was on SNL for quite a while, I believe, wasn't he?
Dragged him down. It was horrible.
But I think John Goodman or Andy Richter would be. I feel like John Goodman would probably draw the most attention to the show.
Probably.
That guy, what a great actor he is. No question about it. He's a terrific actor.
Do we know who's playing JD Vance?
Oh, yeah.
Who would play JD? Colin Jost would be a great JD Vance. So I think they kind of have that same side swept. I don't know if Colin does impressions though.
I don't think he does. That's the problem.
He wouldn't have to though. He looks
enough the hair. He's got the hair.
Yeah.
You just need the eyeliner and maybe some false lashes.
Ooh, false lashes. There we go.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. All right, sister. Brilliant report, I thought.
Here to bring, brighten up your Thursday.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you later.
Kristen Bird, Entertainment News, brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. That's going to do it. Back in 10 minutes with The Family Show.